So we have a new report about when Black Panther is going to be showing up for the MCU. We also have word about 3 different actors that Marvel Studios currently wants to play Black Panther. If you haven't heard, since last week, all of the news has been talking about how Marvel Studios is now going to recast T'Challa Black Panther in the MCU. And based off of reports that we have currently heard, they are actively looking to recast him, and they have been searching for an actor to do so. In fact, according to some reports, they've already asked and offered the role to 3 different actors who declined the role of T'Challa in the MCU. And you can't blame them, it is a really big role and some really big shoes to fill, which are Chadwick Boseman's. After his passing, Marvel Studios decided to not recast T'Challa in the MCU and decided to make Shuri the new Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. However, at the end, they did introduce the fact that T'Challa had a son, and his name was also T'Challa, so clearly that was their plan for new T'Challa in the MCU, but it looks like that has changed, and Marvel Studios now wants to utilize the Multiverse Saga to bring in a new Black Panther. And what's interesting is that it does seem like Marvel Studios really is reverting back to what has worked in the past. They are bringing back Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, they're bringing back the Russo brothers and Stephen McFeely, and here's where it's interesting. Originally, Black Panther was introduced in Captain America: Civil War. That film was directed by the Russo brothers and written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. And now it looks like that game, minus Christopher Marcus, are going to handle the new Black Panther in the MCU as well. As a new report tells us that Black Panther, the new one, is going to debut in Avengers Doomsday. This means that the new Black Panther that we are going to get in the MCU really can't be T'Challa's son. It's going to be a pretty big multiversal movie. This is already confirmed. We know that our universe is going to collide with and interact with people from other universes, like the X-Men of the 10,005 universe. We also know that the Fantastic Four are going to end up on the same universe as our main Avengers, so that universe as well. Dr. Doom is also supposed to be from another universe. So it makes sense that this new Black Panther would simply be a variant of T'Challa coming from another universe that ends up in the main 616 universe. And Marvel Studios doing it this way does solve a pretty big problem they had with introducing T'Challa's son to be the new Black Panther in the MCU, and that is his age. We were wondering how T'Challa's son could be the new Black Panther when he's just a kid. Obviously, about 20 years would have to go by until this T'Challa could take the reins of the new Black Panther, which meant a Black Panther would not be a part of our new Avengers team. He wouldn't really be participating in the Multiverse Saga. He wouldn't, at the time, have had a place in Avengers Kang Dynasty or Avengers Secret Wars. But now, using the multiverse, we could have a T'Challa variant who ends up in our main universe simply become the new Black Panther. But there is another part to this report. According to the insider My Time to Shine Hello, the new T'Challa will first appear in the Avengers movies and then in Black Panther 3. Now, here's the deal. We don't know when Black Panther 3 is going to come out. It could come out after Avengers Secret Wars. That's a very real possibility. And that's actually what I'm assuming is going to happen. Because as I mentioned in another recent video, it would be weird for Shuri to give up her mantle of Black Panther to a variant of her brother. I can definitely see her fighting alongside a T'Challa variant, and it will definitely be very emotional, and I think it's going to be pretty emotional for everybody else that's watching as well, but it makes sense. In fact, I'm sure we're going to see that happen. Shuri will still be the Black Panther, and we'll get our new T'Challa variant, and then after the reset of the MCU, the soft reboot, is when we'll get Black Panther 3 that has this new T'Challa. The reboot is supposed to fuse a lot of different universes together, and there is something very interesting that Marvel Studios could do. They could take a play from the comics and make it to where in this new universe, after the reset, once it's new and a combined universe with the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and the new Black Panther, moving forward, everybody will believe that that's how their universe and their lives have always been. They lived in a universe that always had the X-Men, that always had the Fantastic Four, and perhaps a good majority of them, I'm not saying all of them, but a great majority of them don't remember the universe before. This essentially does allow a reboot of the MCU, but allowing a few few characters to remember what happened before, like perhaps Spider-Man, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, the Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange. Just a handful of characters remembering what happened before allows the legacy of the Infinity Saga and the Multiverse Saga to still be there and live on. Meaning it doesn't erase what happened in the past, but moving forward, we do have pretty much a clean slate. And I think that's a great idea of how to bring back a T'Challa Black Panther. And again, I think it's really cool that the Russo brothers are going to direct Avengers Doomsday, which will have the new debut of the new Black Panther, and Stephen McFeely is writing this as well, and they all introduced Black Panther originally in Captain America Civil War. So I think he's in very good hands. And we've actually recently heard that the Russo brothers and Stephen McFeely plan to rewrite the scripts for the Avengers films basically from scratch. Hopefully they've already started on that, I'm sure they have. But for continuity purposes, I do think that that's better. That instead of taking parts of the script from Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and what Secret Wars was already going to be, they basically make both movies their own. I think that's the way to go. But also, like I mentioned, we do have a report about 3 actors who reportedly Marvel Studios wants right now to play the new T'Challa. This report is again coming from the insider My Time to Shine Hello, who states that some of the actors Marvel Studios was considering to play the new T'Challa are 1. John David Washington, which right away, I think this would be super cool for many different reasons, but one of the reasons is that his father, Denzel Washington, is already confirmed to be in Black Panther 3. So this would be insanely cool if John David Washington became the new Black Panther of the MCU, appeared in Avengers Doomsday and then in Avengers Secret Wars, and then in Black Panther 3 would go on to possibly go up against his father, since it's speculated right now that his father, Denzel Washington, is going to be playing a villain in the movie. But of course, John David Washington, above all things, is a great actor. Most people know him from Tenet or The Creator or the show Ballers. He really is a great actor, and I think that he would do a great job. Another one that they are considering is Kelvin Harrison Jr. I'm not too familiar with his work. I know he did one of the voices in Mufasa. I know he was in Elvis. So those who have seen some of his work will have to go ahead and let me know what you think about this possible casting choice for T'Challa in the comments down below. And the last one that the report mentions is Aaron Pierre, who has recently been cast as the Green Lantern John Stewart in the new DCU. So this one has some heads turning. Can he play John Stewart in the DCU but also play T'Challa Black Panther in the MCU at the same time? Would that be confusing for people? Would people not like him to be in both universes at the same time? I'm not really sure. I don't see a huge problem with it, but at the same time, I do think it's good to differentiate universes and characters. And to general audiences and casual fans, it might end up being a little bit confusing. And I don't think that the studios possibly want to have to cross over a little bit with DC, even though they definitely get along. We know Kevin Feige and James Gunn get along very well. I think the studios sometimes might want to keep things pretty clean. But having said that, if he is the choice to play the new Black Panther, if they decide that he is the best fit, I'm sure they could make it work. I think I lean more towards John David Washington, or even having Michael B. Jordan come back to play a variant of T'Challa. It's the multiverse. Why not have a variant of T'Challa that is actually Michael B. Jordan? I feel like that would be pretty easy to do, and I feel like a lot of people would really like that as well. So out of all the people, I think it would be cool to see John David Washington appear as the new Black Panther and then act with his father in Black Panther 3, but I would also like to see Michael B. Jordan just come back as a Black Panther variant. However, go ahead and let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. What do you think about them recasting T'Challa, and who do you think it should be? Let me know in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news, rumors, or leaks. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.